HTTP is a standard language that software uses to talk across the internet. So most of what happens on the internet when one machine is talking to another is you have one computer asking another computer for a file. This is almost what all interactions are on the internet. So they have to speak the same language, obviously. The language they speak is HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. We call it a protocol in the same sense that you would talk about following correct protocol when meeting somebody. You're supposed to say, hello, my name is Brenton Strine, nice to meet you. You put out your hand and shake hands. There's various social customs that we have, and we call these protocols. There are different protocols for all sorts of different circumstances. You got to know the protocol so that you can make the event and transaction happen properly. So there's a protocol for when you go to the checkout stand in the supermarket. There's a way that you talk. There's an order of, okay, give them the products first, don't try and pay first, let them give you the total, then pay. All of this has to happen in the right order. That's the proper checkout protocol. So there actually are different protocols on the internet as well, but you have to make sure that you're speaking the same protocol. So Hypertext Transfer Protocol, there's also FTP, File Transfer Protocol, there's a secure HTTP, HTTPS, but just got to understand the concept of protocol as this is how computers talk to each other. So for example, let me run you through how a normal HTTP exchange would go. So you have a browser. A person is on their computer browsing the internet, and they ask to load a page. So what the browser does is it sends an HTTP request to the server and says, hello, server, are you there? Would you please give me the file located here? And then the server in HTTP understands that. The server will go and do its thing, check to see if the file exists, and then it will respond like this. It'll say, I found the file. It exists. It's the one you wanted. Here it is. And it's in this format. So it'll tell you a little bit about the file. It'll tell you that it found it okay, and then it'll tell you what format it's in, and then it'll give you the file. So we actually call that the header. There's like the little bit of information it gives you about what it's giving you before it gives you the actual thing. Now, have you ever gone to a page and you see 404? That's a error code that means basically that it couldn't find it. So that would be if the server could not find the file, it sends HTTP response with that code 404 couldn't find it. There's actually tons of these codes. Every time you make an HTTP request, there's HTTP codes that are getting sent. 200, 400, 500, and they all have different things. You usually only see the codes when it's like a 404, right? But these HTTP codes are all over the place. You don't have to know what they mean because HTTP takes care of itself. So to sum it up, HTTP is the language that computers use to talk to each other on the internet when they're sending files back and forth. Don't confuse it with FTP. FTP is very similar in a lot of ways, file transfer protocol, but FTP is used for almost exclusively for uploading files, uploading and downloading files. This is something that web developers do. It's not for browsing the internet, it's for creating the internet. Give me a thumbs up if you thought this was helpful.